Entrepreneurship. So when we hear this term, the first thing that people generally say is freedom, independence, power, money, ability to do whatever you want to do, right? But in reality, is it really true? Is entrepreneurship, freedom and power and money all the time? There are so many companies that have been started, and in that only 1% of them achieve this power, status, money, freedom, and the remaining 99% of them, they fail. And the major reasons for failure is the founder's mindset. And if you see, founder's mindset is a very big term. If you go deeper into it, you have a lot more different layers. And the irony is, there is no good founder mindset or bad founder mindset. It's just founder mindset that can either make your company or break your company. My name is Vandana. I am the founder of Happy Lab and I'm a psychologist. Today's video, we are going to learn some lessons from Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and how these lessons are so instrumental and important in building your founder's mindset. In 1962, Phil Knight graduated from Stanford University, and he was a passionate runner and he wanted to build something in the sports industry, because he felt that there were a lot of shoes available in the market, but it was either too expensive or it was not up to the qualities and expectations for an athlete. And he had no business plan, he had no company officially registered. In fact, he had no experience to be an entrepreneur. Yet he took the brave decision to travel to Japan, and in fact he convinced a dealer to give him sample shoes that he could sell in the US. The first lesson that you learn from Phil Knight is start before you're ready. It's an amazing motivational quote. But if you look into the lens of a founder, why is it very difficult for the 99% of the founders to do this? It's because whenever you're wanting to start a business, you are doing a lot of plans and there is a lot of self-doubt that you have within you, which we often call in psychology as imposter syndrome. So you keep thinking, can I do this? Can I pull it off? Who's going to invest money in my firm? Do I have money to in fact take such a big risk on myself? So these are the thoughts that come in. And when you go and pitch your idea of business to your friends and family, most of them are going to laugh at you. They might not be completely supportive of your idea. In fact, my own father was not really that supportive of the idea in the first few months of me starting the business. And once he saw that there were so many clients of mine, or there were so many, Google reviews that was being posted about Happy Lab as a firm, he started to believe in this idea. So most of the founders, when you talk about your vision or your plan to others, they might not really understand and they can ridicule you. So you can either take this ridicule very seriously and not start the company at all, or you can in fact challenge yourself and execute your plan and see whether what they're saying is true or not. This is something that a lot of founders hesitate to do, and it's the first step towards your entrepreneurial journey. And if you're not able to take this step, if there is a lot of self-doubt and if a lot of criticism you're doing, then you will not be able to go in this journey in a smooth manner. So I'm a founder, I'm a psychologist, so we have started this entire program for founders, wherein we provide therapy sessions by a founder for a founder. And from these sessions, we have understood that most of the founders in the initial stage are stuck in this particular step. They're not able to execute. They have great plans, great pitch ideas. But when it comes to execution, because of their self-limiting beliefs, because of the constant criticism that they hear from themselves and from others, they fail to, in fact, even start their firm. And when they're not able to start their firm, they end up just imagining, oh, I wish I had this particular firm, and constantly crib about it. So this is a cycle that a lot of initial founders have, and this is something that you can definitely come out of when you're having a founder's mindset. One thing that you need to take from this lesson is stop waiting for the perfect moment. Just start. The perfect moment will eventually find the way. Stop making so much of your plans so perfect, because end of the day, whatever plans that you do can sometimes not even be used depending upon how you're pitching your product, who are you pitching your product, and what the consumer actually wants from you. In fact, Nike was not really called Nike for the entire first decade. It was called as Blue Ribbon Sports. Phil Knight was a full-time accountant, and he was in fact running Nike as a business, as a side hustle. And a lot of people didn't even believe in him when he said that he wants to, start a shoe brand. In fact, in the 1960s, running was not really a concept as how it is today. So if somebody is running on the road, the passerby would often, mock at this person and think that something is really wrong with them. So a lot of drivers, when they see runners on the road, they have put beer cans on them and they have mocked and honked at them so much that the person feels so bad to come out on a run. That was the stage in which Phil Knight started his firm. And cut to today, when running is a community, it is a place for your expression, it is a place for you to vent out your stress, it is a space for you to make sure that your health is at its peak. So that's what running is right now today, right? So when no one takes a bet on you, it's very important to take a bet on yourself. So that's the second lesson that you can learn from Phil Knight's journey of building Nike. And this is something that is very, very important because, like I said in the very first point, a lot of people are not going to support you. The one person that's going to support you is you. So you need to have good self-esteem and self-confidence in yourself. If you do not have it, it will be very difficult to convince a customer to buy from you, right? And again, a lot of founders are so critical and hesitant that they don't end up convincing their customer, or they might convince the customer initially, but as and when new projects come by and they have to take riskier bets, it kind of makes them paralyzed because they are not believing in themselves at all. They are in this complete freeze mode and they are doubting every single decision. And when you start doubting every single decision, you don't end up being a good leader. In fact, you are a leader who is just walking on this tight rope without even realizing what is going to happen. So the entire plans, every single thing that is going to make your company grow suddenly gets flushed out because you are having that doubts within yourself. So as a founder, it is important to have that self-confidence and belief in yourself, and this self-confidence and beliefs comes when you work on your own internal mindset, internal voices, because there are a lot of challenges like financial challenges or marketing challenges that you can definitely hire somebody else to fix it for you. But when it comes to leading your firm, when it comes to taking those risky bets, it is all about the internal emotional conflict or how you see yourself. So this is something that is very important for every founder to look in, introspect and see how you are as a person. Are you somebody who is completely beating yourself down, being so critical? Or are you somebody who is inspiring yourself and creating that hope and pushing yourself to take those business decisions or to invest in your product? Phil Knight didn't even like to make sales pitches, but when he spoke about his brand, when he spoke about his company, it was as if he was part of the entire journey of entrepreneurship and not just trying to figure out how I can improve my sales or how I can sell my shoes. It was so much that he believed in the product that when he was speaking, everybody else started to believe in that particular product. So great leaders, if you see, like Steve Jobs, they all completely were immersed in the journey of their entrepreneurship. They were not going behind targets and charts and from point A to point B I'm supposed to reach. So for any successful entrepreneur, it is important to believe in yourself, believe in your product, and when you do it, rest all the things is a lot more easier than you think. If you look at the 1970s, the financials of Nike, it was completely a difficult and a turbulent time because even the company was 10 years old, but they were completely dependent on debt and extended credit line. And since the shoes were being imported from Japan, the cost, the custom duties, import duties, everything was increasing. And in order to manage all of these things, most of the money used to go. So there was a constant debt that was being faced by Nike. So what any other founder would have done is they would have taken more loans, or they would have realized that okay, this is not working out for them, and they would have shut shop. So this was one option for Phil Knight, and the other option was to basically push through this and find a solution. So what he did was he went into a strategy mode. He didn't go into panic mode. So what he did first was he hired the best lawyers because US had put a legal case on him, and they had frozen basically giving him any kind of new funds unless and until he repays the debts. So instead of panicking, he hired these lawyers, and in fact, when he won the case, he didn't have to pay the amount that the US government had asked him to pay. In fact, he paid a much lesser amount. And the second thing that he did was he improved his supply chain. So he was not completely dependent on one single company in Japan. He in fact moved his production line to other countries like Korea and Southeast Asia. He moved his production line to Korea, wherein the costs were much more lesser and the quality was the same. So he identified opportunity and he utilized this opportunity instead of going into a panic mode. So the third lesson that you can learn from Phil Knight is growth can cause pain. It's how you push it through that matters. So if you see from a psychology point of view or from a mindset point of view, a lot of them, like I said, would get into the panic mode. And in panic mode, you either run away from the situation, you're in denial, or you fight through the situation. Sometimes you end up winning, sometimes you end up taking wrong decisions. And the other thing is you freeze. You feel like, okay, I have to shut down the entire business. But when you get into a strategy mode, you're like a king. You're trying to see where are your losses, where are your gains, and how can you win this particular battle that you're facing right now. So every problem need not be something that you need to worry so much about. Problems can also create new opportunities for yourself. In fact, this problem that Phil Knight faced was the reason why he decided to rebrand Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike. And the first logo that was being created was done for just $35. And this logo right now is something that anybody in the world can recognize. And they have grown into a brand that is recognized globally. So it was all because of a problem. So most of the founders, they are so scared of problems that they get into this entire panic mode, and because of which a lot of them shut down. They're not getting into the strategy mode. They're not getting into the mode wherein they believe in themselves and they're able to see the opportunities in front of them. They're in that shut off phase. So in Founders Therapy, we basically learn how to get into this strategy mode, because we are all humans. We do get afraid and we are obviously not going to be able to look past things when we are in the panic mode. So strategy mode is something that you learn in Founders Therapy program. Fourth lesson that you can learn from Phil Knight is know when to let go. Now, why I say this particular lesson before I explain it is because in 2004, he decided to step down as the CEO of Nike. Whenever any founder starts their firm, right, so they take off this firm to be something that is like their baby. They hold it so close to them that even if a person is trying to do good for the firm, at times we doubt them. And even a small criticism that you hear from your customers, we tend to take it too personally. So all of this is in the beginning stage, and a lot of founders, they hold the same perception for a very long period of time, and that can also lead to their downfall, because at times we feel that we can do it all, we can manage everything, we will learn because we know our firm the best, and this can sometimes lead to delays. It can lead to downfall of a firm. So it's important to know when to let go of that particular control that you hold on your firm and start to trust others who can make this firm much more bigger than what you would have envisioned for yourself. Whenever you feel like you're not able to do a job properly and there's somebody else doing this job better, so trust them in the process instead of firing them, and not taking it too personally that you as a founder don't know this and some employee in your firm is able to fix this, because some employee of your firms can definitely help you to make the firm much more bigger. All the people who believed in his firm, so he had great relationship with them, he trusted them, and that was, I think, one of the major reasons why Nike is what it is today. And this is something that a lot of founders lack. They in fact have conflicts with their co-founders, and these conflicts can in fact lead to the downfall of their firm, and these conflicts arise because of ego clashes or because you feel that the other person knows more than you and how can this particular thing happen. So it's important to self-introspect and know that okay, you have certain strengths, you have certain weaknesses, and it's okay to acknowledge it instead of fighting it. You know, when Phil Knight was starting off his firm, for the first 10 years, there was a lot of cash crunch, like I mentioned. So in this time frame, he was not even able to pay bill. He was feeling this entire guilt and shame. And all of this is because of the expectations. Whenever somebody tells that, you know, a founder needs to be rich or should be powerful or should have the freedom. So this is the expectation that all the founders have when they get into this. But in reality, it is not the same. And this guilt and shame can sometimes make us take certain rash decisions which can lead to the downfall of the firm. And for this, you need a good support system who believes in you and a space for you to actually vent out your sorrows, vent out your struggles. So now why I say this is because it's like a chain. Okay, so as a founder, you are a little bit alone. You cannot share all of your problems to your employees or to your investors or to your family, because everybody is going to get worried, and when they get worried, they all go in the panic mode, which can cause a lot of panic to you, and it prevents you from seeing everything from a strategic point of view. So this happens. So you end up keeping all of this stress, worry, pressure within you. And you're a human, you're going to collapse after a point of time, and this collapse doesn't come in like how you usually think. It comes in the way of you being frustrated, you ending up working longer hours, there is no work-life balance, there's a lot of pressure, and this pressure can lead to decision fatigue, because when you're running your firm, everybody is going to look up to you to make the final decision, and at times when you are so exhausted, these final decisions can seem like a huge task, and you might not end up taking those decisions on time. You can miss an opportunity, you can miss a trend, and when that happens, you go into self-critical mode, and this self-critical mode causes a lot of fear, and you start to question, is this all really worth it? Am I good enough to be a founder? Am I going to go past this? So you end up being in this doom cycle, and when you're in this doom cycle, you're not able to see past it. But if you have a space wherein you're in a non-judgmental environment and you can just vent out all of your frustration, all the fears that you have, because we all need an outlet. When we have that outlet, we are able to remove all of those toxic or negative things out of us, and when we're able to see it in front of us and we question ourselves, is it really true? Is this something that's really going to happen? You know the answer from within that it's not going to happen, and you end up going into that strategy mode. So it's important as founders to have support system. It is important as founders that you have your own people that you can share and trust, and most of the founders are hesitant. They don't really do this, and this can lead you to going into the cycle of doom. So Founders Therapy started by a founder for founders. So if at all you are a entrepreneur who is looking out for a space just to improve yourself, because like I said, for other things like your marketing issues, or if you need any kind of mentorship from others, you can get it, as there are a lot of experts out there. But when it comes to the matters of your mindset, your emotions, and you as a person, there are a very few people who can understand and who can relate to you. So this entire therapy program is created just for founders from a founder. So if you have any entrepreneurial friends, don't forget to share it with them. And if you're liking such kind of content, please don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friend, and subscribe to my channel. And one important thing that I want you all to do is, in the comments section, if you're a founder or if you are a budding entrepreneur, do write down all the challenges that you face and how have you solved that particular thing, so that we can reach out to much more larger people from your comments, learn from your comments, and it can definitely help the viewers who are watching it as well. So I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.